Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is IBM Social Business Strategy. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Raj Kiran Guru, IBM Certified Senior Architect at IBM India Software Labs. Mr. Raj Kiran Guru is an IBM Certified Senior Architect and an Open Group Master Certified IT Architect, and he works in IBM India Software Labs. Raj specializes in the field of pervasive computing, collaboration and social business, and has been working with several customers worldwide to develop solutions in this space. He is an evangelist for IBM collaboration solutions and a prolific speaker in this field. He has written several books and technical articles for IBM. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker, Mr. Raj Kiran Guru. Over to you, Mr. Raj Kiran.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. So, hello everybody, and thank you very much for taking time to attend this session. And today I'll be talking about IBM Social Business Strategy. Before that, I would like to very briefly introduce you all to what is social business and why it is important. And then we look at what IBM is doing about this space and what solutions we have. I won't dig about the solutions in detail because there's a lot of them, but I would be taking one aspect of it and taking you through it. And then we'll look at a couple of real-world scenarios where customers are benefiting from the adoption of social business. So first, let's look at what's social business. So social business, as it says, is all about you and me. It's about the people. And if you see how businesses are changing to adopt this, let's look at a few scenarios. The way we buy. We always look at reviews, comments on products before we actually go and buy it physically or even order it online, right? The way we work, we want to be able to collaborate with our colleagues, with our partners, with our customers, and ensure that we are productive from anywhere at any time. And if you have to create anything, be it a knowledge management set or be it any product, be it a medicine, whatever it is, like we want to tap into a wide variety of expertise which is already there. We want to give deep insights, have knowledge, and be able to produce something meaningful. For example, to develop this particular presentation for today's webinar, I tapped into a variety of resources on IBM site and was able to quickly gather lots of information and come up with a presentation. So people are also empowered like never before. If you see, there's a lot of information being put digitally on the web. So it becomes very important to find and share information instantly. There's a big rise in the social networking sites, and about 22% accounts for about 22% of all online time. People now are getting more and more used to mobile devices, so access to information seamlessly is very important. And smartphone and tablet shipment have now outpaced PCs. So people have more access to information, are able to contribute to information, right? So bringing social tools into enterprise is imperative, and it's all the more important. And if you see a lot of new generation employees, they get the tools they want to work with, and if enterprises are not providing the information and platforms, they go into it the way they seem right. And if you see the processes, of the existing business, they are all influenced by people. If you see employees, they form virtual teams, communities to solve problems or issues or be able to develop new products. Now customers, the conversations the customers are having around your brand defines the brand. It is no longer totally dependent on the marketing strategy, but also about the voice of the customers. Your partners are becoming on-demand extensions of the enterprise. So all this collaborate to the changing business needs, right? And it's all about people. So the network of people are defining and changing the existing business processes. So what's social business? So social business is about doing business with involvement of your people. People meaning employees, partners, customers. Ensuring that they're all engaged. Information is transparent. They're able to collaborate. And it's agile, it's nimble, right? So you're able to produce solutions or platforms for enabling all your employees, partners, customers to define the business. So that's social business. And what's the demand for social business? So if you see, there's a lot of demand, or there's a lot of ask from the businesses. For example, for marketing, for instance, it's not push marketing or traditional challenges alone which defines your relationship with the customers. It's about ensuring that you have trusted relationship with the customers, you hear customers' voices, you interact with your customer and build relationships. That drives sales. Or, say in the case of typical product development companies, so you no longer go about investing in a huge R&D, working in a shell where they generate ideas internally and then take those to the market. But rather, the new thing is to time to market, to gain market share. So it's more and more important to listen to the voice of your customers and your employees to get breakthrough ideas and products and be able to quickly take them to market. Operations, or say in any organization, human resources. Earlier, email and phone-based communication was one of the primary communication channels. Knowledge, information were kept in silos. But to ensure that we have a more productive and more effective workforce, it is very important to ensure that the professionals are networked, they're able to find experts, they're able to find the information they need faster, and be able to conduct business sooner. So there's a lot of demand for ensuring that people are more and more connected. So definitely, so social business is changing the way we are conducting our existing business, right? So social media, tapping into social media is very important. Analyzing what customers are saying about your brand, right? What are they saying about your products? That insight is very important for companies to have, so that they are able to produce the right products which get adopted. Product and service innovation, as I mentioned, ideation, jams. So 44% of the Fortune 200 executives report that they employ crowdsourcing, and they feel that 95% of them feel there's a lot of benefits from this. As mentioned, workforce optimization. So to locate experts, right, and to be able to get the right person for the job is of utmost importance. Governance and risk, when we have a lot of people talking, a lot of communication channels open, governance, risk management, compliance, they all become important. And that is changing a lot of existing infrastructure. Going forward, so we understand what's social business, we understand the importance of social business. Now let's look at some of the tenets of social business. So what defines a social business? Or how can existing business transform to be called as a social business? So there are four key things here. One is reach. Ensuring that your people are able to reach, are able to connect to other people, are able to find information, right? Are able to connect within the organization, outside the organization, be it employees to partners, employees to customers, business to business. So having a platform where people are able to reach and connect, that's one aspect of it. When people have the reach, the next important thing that becomes is to engage that so that they are productive in the business context. There are a lot of social networking sites out there, but if you see what's the business value, you got to question that. So the next important aspect is to engage them productively in the business context, right? So that people develop insights and intelligence over the social network, right? Once you have your people able to reach, connect, and are engaged, the next important aspect of social business would be to monitor and analyze the social data to discover the new insights. So there will be a lot of information out there. People are talking, there might be ideation jams conducted. There may be a lot of talk about products. There may be people connected, or there may be a specific set of communities created where there's a lot of people joining it because they think it of value. So you got to look at the content which is already there and discover new business insights. And you could then be able to identify the opportunities, solve problems, come up with new solutions. So once you're able to get to this level, the next thing is to act on these insights for business advantage. How do we integrate the social capabilities into the existing
Hello? Mr. Rajkaran, there's no sound from your side. We are extremely sorry. There's some network issue at the speaker's end. Uh, we'll be coming to you shortly in a minute.
Should I reconnect again on these effects? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Hello, I hope everybody can hear me now again. Sorry for this. Yeah, so yeah. So going back to where I left, so the four important aspects is to ensure there's reach. You're able to engage people productively in the context, business context, able to analyze the social data and discover new insights, and be able to act upon it. So this kind of defines what is social business, and let's now look at what IBM social business strategy and solutions are. So IBM has, as you know, has a large number of technologies, right? And we are bringing a lot of technologies together to ensure that we make the social business platform as rich as possible. For example, collaboration, unified communications, social media integration, business analytics, text analytics, integration with enterprise content management systems, risk and compliance systems from, say, Tivoli, things like that, right? So the IBM social business capabilities in terms of reach, engage, discover, integrate, or act. So let's look at what IBM has to offer. From the reach perspective, so IBM has got a lot of social networking software already. There are software which help you build social networks, which can integrate with your existing systems and bring in insights and connect users. There are tools and products which will help you visualize your social networks, or for administrators to visualize the existing social networks in the organization, identify which geographies are siloed or where the connection needs to happen, and be able to ensure that the social networks are built optimally. In terms of the communication channels, IBM has got a lot of products where it helps you connect to your enterprise systems, like be it secure VPN through IBM Lotus or Mobile Connect, or be it access through mobile devices. So there's a lot of products which enable to do that. So some examples we want to take is like in terms of the social networks, there are products called IBM Lotus Connections. Then there's a thing called Atlas, which helps you visualize the social networks. There are products like from Tivoli, which can get data from multiple systems and make them a part of your social networks. Right? In terms of the social content, so to be able to get the right content to ensure that people are engaged, right? There are again products there. There are products like Connections again, where there are apps where people can come and contribute to the social data. There are connectors which connect to the day-to-day tools people use to ensure we are getting those data into the social network. Like, for example, I may be having a messaging system, and I want to push a particular content of a messaging system to my social platform, right? Or I just received a mail from my on my mail tool, and I want to be able to push that information seamlessly into the social media. So there are lots of connectors, content services available. There are a lot of web content management solutions and things like that available to ensure that social content is generated. In terms of analytics, so there are a lot of products, Cognos, Core Metrics, etc., which help you analyze the social content. IBM is big on big data and also in terms of monitoring. So when we have all this reach, engage, and discover, when we have those information in terms of acting, so there is like integration to say process management, like social BPM is becoming the next big thing. So integration with existing process management tools like Lombardi, like Process Server, things like that, right? Or to a lot of information management systems like DB2, MDM. And there are a lot of devotee products which enable the governance and lifecycle part of it in terms of security mobile. So these are the social business capabilities of IBM. And one of the most important things IBM is working on is ensuring that the social business information is in context. So users don't have to go to any specific systems just to ensure that you're putting in data for the social business. So if you're doing commerce, so there is a lot of social business integration with commerce systems like Sterling Commerce, Core Metrics, and Eureka, etc. So users users of the system can contribute to the social business content directly from the systems, right? So these are some of the examples. Right? If you take social augmented BPM or social software engineering, so in terms of rational jazz, it's got content for, it's got connectors for ensuring that people contribute to social content, right? Or any middleware products, social applications, right? So like some of the WebSphere products, like WebSphere application server or portal server, they've all got widgets or portlets or content from which they can contribute to the social business. So a framework which is kind of defines the social business, right, IBM is that in terms of the client, it should be accessible from a thin client or a native client on a desktop or a mobile device or through a browser. And it's all accessible to standards. Right? Then we define a set of collaborative capabilities or social business capabilities where people are able to contribute to the social content. And these are integrated to the backend systems or to business applications or information management systems, again using service integration standards, be it JSR286, open social, activity streams. They are able to authenticate with and seamlessly integrate with external systems using OAuth or SAML, right? And these should be accessible in terms of the deployment model. They should be accessible via the private cloud or public cloud, or it could be deployed on an enterprise IT system. Now, having said that, so there are several ways in which you can deploy. So I'm going to next go into a couple of social business software platforms from IBM, right? So IBM allows you to do social business in the cloud, right? So you could be able to so it's called Social Business for IBM Smart Cloud. So with this, you could be able to have your network over the cloud across your organizational boundaries. You could conduct activities, which is lightweight project management activities. You could have online meetings. You could have email systems, chats, files, have communities with with your employees, with your partners, with your customers. So it's all on the cloud, right? So just to show you that, so here's a dashboard from when you log into this IBM Smart Cloud. It connects to your profiles. It shows, it welcomes you. It says what's your meeting ID, and you could host a meeting from here. You could see all the invitations and requests for you to connect with and enrich your network, right? You could create communities and get people into communities and share information with them, share files, right? And a lot more. Now there's a new thing, or it's called LotusLive Labs. So LotusLive Labs are a part of research, and they are into cutting-edge collaboration tools and solutions, and customers and partners can collaborate with them using this and come up with newer versions, newer capabilities in the social business. So some examples are collaborative recorded meetings or event maps or IBM Docs. So if you just take, for example, IBM Docs, it is a collaborative editing platform. So you'll be able to have rich web editors for creating documents, right? And be able to share them with your colleagues and your partners online, be able to collaboratively edit them and share information. That's just an example. And these kind of connects to a lot of existing partners, right? And so IBM Smart Cloud is again a platform. It's a platform where partners can come in and be able to integrate and provide additional capabilities to this platform. Symphony, for example, it's, as I mentioned, it's a bunch of editors. They're free editors for producing documents, and with IBM Docs, be able to do it over the browser seamlessly. The next important social business platform from IBM is IBM Connections. So I would take you through this IBM Connection features in detail for the next few minutes to tell you about how it's a rich platform for doing social business. So IBM Connections is a set of services which coexist and which work together to produce a rich platform. For example, there's profiles to find the expertise, communities, be able to share files, create wikis, or participate in activities, exchange ideas through forums, share rich media contents through media galleries. The home page is like an attention management system which tells you what's happening across the social network. Since there's a lot of information, which is a lot of content which gets published in an enterprise social network, it's very important to get the snapshot. And in an enterprise, the social analytics of knowing whom you don't know is very important, and getting recommendations is quite important. So social analytics takes care of doing that. Microblogging to let other people know what you're doing or for you to reach out for help. Have a collaborative place to share bookmarks which you think is useful and things like that. So as I mentioned, I'll take you through a few snapshots of this platform so that you can get an idea of the features. So homepage. In the homepage, you get a list of all the views of what's happening in your social network. And in profiles, you can put in all the information, right? For example, what's your contact information? What's your report to chain? Well, what's your status right now? How's your network? If you got new connections, invitations from your network. What are the tags by which you're known, right? What's your background information? What's your recent activities, recent posts, etc., etc. Just to give you a snapshot, here's a snapshot of the profiles, so of Hillary, say. So you get to know that she's a vice president in some R&D company, you know her contact details and reach her. So she's mentioned, so from this board she can say what she's working on right now, and she's said that she's preparing for Impact 2011, and there's comments on that, so our people who are working on the same thing are talking about it. We can get to see Heather's report to chain on the right side. We can see the network, and we know how people have tagged her or what she's known for, what's her expertise. We can connect to people and build a rich network. So there's also an analytics thing which says, do you know this person? Because it's done some analysis and said probably you have interacted with this person, and says, do you want to connect to this person? You can search for an expert very easily, and you can search based on names, keywords, tags, and when you look for a person, you can see how you're connected to that person, who connects you to that person, right? See in the right-hand top corner, it says that I'm connected to Samantha through tech, right? So it shows us how we're connected. You can see the report to chain and a lot more things. It shows what we have in common. It says that we have a few communities which we are in common. Now, communities, it kind of helps people who share common interests to exchange information together. So in the social world, communities are self-forming. So you do not have a rigid way of defining a community, but saying, making it more self-forming. You let employees create communities and freely join other communities. So a community kind of says what's the purpose of this community in the overview page, and then it's got a few components. So these components are flexible, like be it you could have files, you could have shared bookmarks, you could have a discussion forum within a community, a wiki, blog, you could have a media library, and so on. So these are the components for a community are customizable by the community administrator. So if you are the community owner, you can define what's there within the community. So important communities, say for example, new employee communities, where new employees can join this community and get to all the information about the company, like how the travel approval process work. So things like that, right? So it's pretty useful. So connections also provide where you can upload files, you can tag it, you can control and who can view and edit it, version control it, etc., etc. Organize it in folders, things like that. So you can have public files shared with me, so I can have some files pinned. I can find files based on tags. So it makes finding information on an enterprise social network all the more easier. And the important aspect is the integration part of it. So, for example, this is my notes, which is my email client, and I have got connectors here from which I can drag and drop files from the community or from my files store in my social network out here. And then instead of actually sending the entire file to the person, it sends a link to the person. So thereby you can save a lot on the storage cost on your mailing system. So if you're sharing this file with hundreds of people, then I have the file only in one location, and it's not emailed across to hundreds of people. So I save a lot on the storage in the mail server, the time, the network traffic, and so on. So I'm sure a lot of you know the benefits of a wiki, of collaborative editing. So IBM Connections provides a component for wikis where you can easily share information collaboratively. Forums is one more aspect which is provided by connections, and it helps you have discussions, exchange thoughts, brainstorm, collect feedbacks, right? You can hold discussion forums, either public discussions or private discussions, so on. Activities is one more aspect of connections, wherein it lets you get, so when we are out to do a particular activity, we have a bunch of people and resources associated with the activity. And the resources could be like documents, chats, calendar content, etc., etc. And this activity lets us get all this information in one place for doing a particular activity. So an activity could be organizing an event, or it could be a project, a completion of a specific milestone in a project, so on and so forth, right? And all the people involved in the activities can be brought in. They can be assigned to-dos and tracked whether given dates to finish those to-dos and tracked. So it's like a lightweight project management tool. It helps you organize content very neatly. Blogs, you're aware, it's very important that people in the organization who are best at what they're doing blog information so that it's available for the rest of the community. So blogs helps you share and also get feedbacks, and based on the feedback innovate. So there's new versions, I think, called ideation blogs, where you can conduct idea jams and things like that. I mentioned social analytics is another important aspect, where it's about discovering who you don't know or what you don't know, right? And with connections, it tells you, do you know this person, or do you know that you share this community with this person, and things like that. So you're able to get insights into newer content or connect to newer people, right? And when you open a platform up for people for social business is all about people, so ensure that auditability is an important aspect, right? So compliance to the policies of your organization, like for example in IBM we say that no IBM confidential data should be shared across the social media content if it is open across the boundaries of the organization. So compliance to that and ensuring it's auditable is very important. And for example, as I said, in terms of the reach, ensuring that the platform is accessible from multiple devices is also an important aspect. And as it can be seen here, IBM Connections ensures that it's available across a whole set of new devices. And integration to existing systems are again a key aspect which you mentioned. So Connections has got, say, portlets to connect with your existing intranets, right, if they are based on the portal technology. So you're able to integrate the social content into your existing intranets. There are widgets and other aspects which can be used to consume content from and to contribute to content to this platform. And it's all based on REST technologies. So as we can see, the reach to be able to engage people and to be able to get insights and to use this information to act. So we've seen that IBM Connections does all that. So I've just mentioned one product from IBM which does these 4 tenets of social business. And if we go through all the other different products across different streams, like be it commerce, be it business process management, be it information management, they all fall in similar lines where they let you have reach so that these are accessible across different networks, different platforms, different devices, and be able to integrate with each other seamlessly, right? So we've seen in terms of the products what capabilities IBM Social has. Now, in terms of the development, so let's just look at what's involved, right? So if you're interested in participating and contributing to the development part of it, then you need to know that there would be some install base in organizations, which could be in a traditional organization, be it like, say, in terms of IBM technologies, there could be a mail software like Domino's, XForms, Portlets, etc. So we got to modernize these applications using standards, and those standards define like HTML widgets, JSRs, etc. So using these common technologies or standards, we bring about social integration to the social applications. And most of the IBM social products are accessible over the REST services and provides social business toolkit where the consistent set of APIs for social services. For example, if I want to be able to contribute to a blog from my process management system, then there's a REST API from which I can browse to a specific blog and be able to comment on on a specific blog post, or be able to send a file from my business process to a specific activity, things like that. And the integration also happens, so single sign-on to existing systems are very important. So I mentioned we have IBM Smart Cloud. So you may be having an on-premise system, say you could be having a CRM or some system on-premise, and you want to connect to the social platform on the cloud and be able to integrate the two, right? So in which case, single sign-on is one of the key important aspects, and this is achieved through OAuth or SAML. So once you have integrated your existing technology with the social platforms, social application, then you define the platform for ensuring that everything you see is social. For example, you may have a common entry point as a home page, if it's an intranet, where access to all the applications and the social media is available from one single entry point. Or in terms of the platform, the data captured in a single place, or the analytics information posted or captured in a single place, right? So as you can see, IBM development for social business is based on a set of open standards, and this is the large commitment from IBM to ensure that we drive and leverage these open standards. You can see HTML5, so most of the social platforms have activity streams, or content is put in through Atom, consumed through Atom syndication, or published through Atom publishing protocols, so on and so forth. And if you're a developer and if you're interested in contributing to some of the social aspects in IBM, then a starting point would be greenhouse.lotus.com, where you get access to some of the latest versions of the products, the APIs, the gadgets, etc., reusable assets and tools, and it's a good starting point for you. So we saw what is social business, what IBM has to provide in terms of social business. Let's just look at a couple of case studies before we move on. So the IBM intranet. So as you can see, most of the intranets are evolving. So intranets are no longer a place where it's just traditional push of web content, but it's a place where employees interact with each other. So IBM, as you can see, is a large enterprise with about 400,000 plus employees across a lot of geographies. And our intranet have evolved. To just show you that, I'll just show you how our intranet looks like. So here you can see. So this is called my W3. And I can see there are some topics which are featured for me. I can put in my status. I can connect and share information across my network. I can search for people, I can search for content. There are some contents recommended for me, right? So, and there are like files, communities, activities, etc., which are which I can see I'm a part of. Or if I see my profile, I can see my information. I can see that a lot of people interacting with me. I can see my report to chain, etc. So that's it. Intranets need to have a platform which is a collaborative platform, which should have basic features like being able to find people or experts by looking at profiles, be able to search for people on keywords, and the people profile is listed based on his digital footprint on the organization. Like for example, if it says social and I'm searching for social, and if I am a part of several social business communities, I've written a couple of blogs and wikis on social business, I'm a part of social business activities, I have a lot of people who have tagged me as a social business expert, then I would feature higher up in the search for expert. So it's all about the content across multiple systems which contribute to finding an expert. So as I said, there's a lot of evolution going on to bring social capabilities into the intranet. So IBM Connections, for instance, is one of the key products which is used for enterprise social business platform, which integrates with lots of existing intranets and making them as social intranets. So another example I want to bring about is BASF, which is a chemical company, and they had employs about 100,000 people and across 390 production sites. And they had several different verticals like chemicals, plastics, performance products, etc. So several business segments, and a lot of information so these business segments were dependent on each other, and finding the right expert was a big business challenge. Finding information resided in a lot of these business segments in silos and multiple versions, and you know, there were a lot of challenges, and they didn't have a collaborative platform for them to communicate and collaborate. And with the IBM Social Business Platform integrating, they helped their employees to find the experts and the stakeholders and increase the value of knowledge through sharing, and so on and so forth. So it reduced emails by transfer conversations to a common platform. So in terms of one more example is say China Telecom, with about 200 plus employees. So when China Telecom got the 3G licenses, it was very important for them to accelerate the service creation. And they wanted to leverage their employees through a unified innovation process. And China Telecom deployed the social business platform IBM, and they were able to have great market success because they let their users come in and conduct idea jams and be able to vote and rate content and rate ideas, and they really are way ahead in terms of service innovation right now. Sennheiser, for example, is a leading manufacturer in microphone and sound systems, right? And when Sennheiser wanted to conduct, say, events, they had to collaborate with a whole set of people. They had to, say, if they wanted to have an event, they had to work with audio experts, they had to work with the artists, they had to work with the technicians, and etc. And the performance equipment requirements, the venues, technical specifications, and so on. And IBM's solution kind of help them to ensure that they have a platform where this information was procured and they were able to have what used to take, say, months of effort were done in weeks because a lot of information about performance or venues were already available and could reuse it, right? So having a common platform is very important, and this really helps. There are several case studies, a few hundreds of them actually, and it's available across different industries, so you could look at them. So if you just go and say IBM Social Business case studies, you'll get to the site and be able to watch how IBM Social Business have transformed. So you'll hear CIOs, CEOs speak about their business problems and how the IBM Social Business platform have helped them transform their business and be more productive and be more profitable, right? So I think that is all I had for today. So we saw what is social business, what is IBM strategy, what we are doing, how our products are evolving to ensure that's capable of leveraging this social business aspect, right? And we saw a specific product, Lotus Connections, for instance, and a few of its features, right? That's just one product. And then we saw how it works with in terms of reach, engage, integrate, and act, right? So that's all I had, and I'm open to questions. Thank you very much for listening in. So if you have any questions, please share it, and I'd be happy to answer them. So Mohini, are there any questions from the audience?
Hello? Mr. Rajkiran, I have sent you the questions in your chat pane. Can you please check in your chat pane? You can undock and resize your chat pane and you can see the questions there.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there are quite a few questions, and I'll take them. So one of the question is cloud computing key influential factor in the success of social business? So as I mentioned, there are several deployment strategies that you can take. You could have an in-house, or it could be on the cloud. So it's necessarily not a key influential factor, I would say, but it's just a deployment option that enterprises have. And I say one of the key influential factors is choosing the right platform, which is open, which can integrate with the existing systems, which is based on standards. And these would be one of the key influential factors for the success of social business. So in terms of the next question, are there standards and guidelines that govern the info share to social business? There are lots of tools which can work in terms of policing the content, and the policies which are defined by the organizations are important, and ensuring that those policies are met are one of the key aspects in terms of governance. So there are tools from which you can gain insights into the content that is being put in, and using those tools, you would be able to ensure that the guidelines which have been laid down by the organization is met. So the next question I want to take in is, so the thing by Mudit Kapoor says, can one be connected to the people after leaving the company or not? So definitely not. So once you're outside the organization, and if the social platform is for within the organization, then you would not have access. And even if it was available for outside the organization, then your identity was with the platform was when you were within the organization, which would cease to exist, and you would have to get in as a partner or as a customer and join the platform again. So one more question is, are their direct impact on productivity? How is the enterprise acceptance towards the social business currently? So there is definitely a lot of direct measurable values which you can get from the social platform. So some of the things are like, how, say for example, how productive are my customer care people? Do they have access to the right knowledge and right information to solve a specific query from a customer? So if I have a social business platform too, and this can be easily measured. So the amount of time is person was taking to solve a particular ticket, and now with the introduction of social media, social platform, how long he's taking. So there is, I've just taken a use case, but there is direct measurable values for several use cases, and see, a lot of enterprises are moving towards social business. And if you're not in the social space, and if you're ignoring this, then it could be like you're missing on a big wave, and the organization would be like considered obsolete in terms of handling, getting feedback from the customers, or connecting with partners, or even engaging their employees. So Tapsi Malhotra is asking, is this available as a mobile app? So Tapsi, I'm assuming that you're asking in terms of connections. Yes, connections is available as a mobile app, and there are specific, so you can see from connections 301 onwards, there's a mobile app available. And there's a specific server-side component which also gets installed when you're installing connections from 301 onwards for mobile. So there's one more question. They say, where do you see this going after the social integration beyond the internet for the organization? So this is all about ensuring that people are more productive, right? So you could say that now we are making people productive by ensuring that they have access to information from wherever they are, from whatever devices they have, seamlessly. So where does it go beyond intranet and internet? Let's say nowhere, right? Because it's already there. So how is it different from Yammer.com? So Yammer is a bunch of, I'd say, a few capabilities siloed. So if I have to get a expertise management system where I can look for an expert based on a whole bunch of scenarios, be it the kind of files he's sharing, or the communities he's participating, or the activities he's a part of, so on and so forth, it's not available. So things like having a seamless collaboration or a seamless integration across multiple applications is very important, and having a platform which does that is very important. So there are a few more questions in terms of system requirements and things like that, which I'd say would be good to look at the info centers of the different products. Talk about quite a few products, so I'm not sure what you're asking about. This is a social media tool for global talent management. So, yes, so if you're applying like your experience, you could definitely do that. Right? So that's pretty much some of the questions which are there. And say thank you very much for asking these questions. So if there are any more questions, please drop it or send me an email, and I'll be glad to answer. Right?
Well, thanks Mr. Rajkiran for your session on IBM Social Business Strategy. It was indeed a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of this webinar will be available on techgeek.com by tomorrow. Till then, thank you all and have a nice evening.
Thank you very much.